Hi, welcome to Personal Trainer Business Tips, and today we're going to focus on marketing focus. Hi, welcome. My name is Eric Simpson. I am an online weight loss coach and trainer specialist working with busy professional women. I also help to mentor, coach and train personal trainers who are either A, thinking about becoming personal trainers, B, newly qualified as personal trainers, or maybe you are an experienced personal trainer that's got stuck at an income level below 2K and you want to try and get above 2K. I can help you to achieve that, certainly advise and guide you on that. So those are the three sorts of people I typically work with, as well as my own clients. So in today's short training, we're going to talk about marketing focus. Now look, marketing serves one simple purpose ultimately, and it is to get ourselves clients, whether that's offline clients or online clients. I now work exclusively online, but prior to that, for well over a decade, I was working offline, working with clients in small groups, one-to-one, working in corporate commercial gyms, working in private studios, and then eventually having my own private studio, employing a team of trainers across 3 sites at one point, and then eventually scaling that all the way back for myself in terms of responsibility for other people and going online and actually doing far better, having a far better lifestyle. And not that I didn't enjoy the lifestyle, but far easier for me to manage and do what I want to do, plus things like this as well, working now exclusively online. So yeah, marketing serves the purpose of bringing in our clients. That's what we want to do. We want to put something out there and we want to bring clients in. And when we take a look at all the things that we can do in terms of marketing, just in terms of digital, forget about all the offline things we can do as well, because that would be another graphic not too dissimilar to this. There are so many things that we can do in terms of marketing, it becomes almost overwhelming. And if you're not used to marketing, if you don't come from a business background, it can not only seem overwhelming, it can seem almost impossible to understand as well. You know, there are so many things that you could do. If we just take, let's for example, Facebook. If you want to do Facebook marketing, so much to learn there. Blog posts, so much to learn there. Any type of social media, there's going to be a learning curve, and depending on your background, it's either going to be smooth or it's going to be pretty steep. In my case, it was quite a steep learning curve because I came from the military. I had no real marketing, commercial, business experience. So here's the thing. When it comes to marketing, we can look at it through different lenses sometimes when it comes to marketing. We can have what looks like on the left-hand side a cheap magnifying glass we can be looking through, or we can look through a rather more expensive magnifying glass. And the perception is that if you've got a more expensive, bigger, better magnifying glass, you're going to do a whole lot better with that magnifying glass than you are with a cheap little, maybe crappy green one that's on the left-hand side there. But here's the thing, and here's the analogy I want to share with you. The big magnifying glass, okay, looks great, looks wonderful, but it's no more effective than the small green magnifying glass if used in a certain way. But people tend not to use the magnifying glass correctly, and I'll explain more in a moment. And because they don't use that magnifying glass correctly, what ends up happening is they go looking for another magnifying glass. So they want to go for maybe this gold one here, and guess what, after a while that one doesn't work, and then they decide, okay, bin that one, let's go for the green magnifying glass, see if that one will work. And that doesn't work either. So they've gone through these 3 different magnifying glass thinking that each one's going to work really well, but none of them work. So what's going on? Is it the magnifying glass that's the problem, or is it the person holding the magnifying glass? Well, here's the thing, look, and I've been guilty of this, believe you me, I can hold my hands up. We can get what we call shiny object syndrome. We start out on a path to do a particular type of marketing. Let's just say, for argument's sake, you're going to do YouTube advertising, for argument's sake. Now, to do YouTube advertising, it's more than just creating a video. You've got a video to create. So what does that mean? Well, it means you have to create the content. It means you have to edit the video. It means you have to do some SEO on the video. That's just 3 things. That's just to create the video. And then you've got to upload the video with SEO, and that's just getting it onto the platform. Then you've got to set up the ad campaign, keywords, placements, audiences, things that I appreciate you may not be familiar with right now, but already as I'm talking I may be beginning to confuse you. But I'm saying that just to give you an idea that even the simplest of things require some effort. Let's take it away from online, let's talk about offline. Maybe flyer creation then, that's simpler, isn't it? A flyer in your hand. So what has to go into that? Well, you have to apply something that gives you an attention-grabbing headline. It needs to be interesting, it needs to be desirable, and there needs to be a call to action on that flyer so that people, when they pick it up and read it, they do something with it. You've got to think about the colours, the size, the type of the material you're going to use, type of paper. So again, you can see, even with the simplest of things, there's some sort of complexity into that. Okay, you may be thinking, well, Eric, I'm not going to do Facebook marketing or YouTube marketing or flyers. I'm just going to do word of mouth. Okay, let's take word of mouth. The simplest thing that you could do. You're going to make a phone call to somebody. Okay, so you've got to think about who you're going to call, when you're going to call them, what are you going to say to them, what questions you're going to ask them. So even the simplest of things have got several different layers to them. And I think the problem we have as personal trainers, and certainly I've had in the past, is let's just say there are 10 levels to learning something before you become a master at that particular marketing activity. Often what can happen is, and often what happened to me in the past was, I'd get down to maybe level 2, 3 or 4, and then I'm like, oh man, another 6 levels to learn this stuff? No way. So I never quite got into it deep enough to learn it well enough to put it out there and be consistent and then make the tweaks. It was kind of like maybe half do it, oh that's not working, bin it, go for a new magnifying glass. And that's what a lot of personal trainers will do. They will bin what they're doing and they go looking for the next shiny object. And it's not a criticism of you, it's just something that we inherently tend to have as entrepreneurs, that we can be susceptible to shiny object syndrome. And that's not just happening to me or to you, that's happening to some of the most successful people I know who I've spoken to have said they've had similar problems and still continue to have to almost cage that tiger in that wants to go and look for that new thing rather than just staying in your lane and doing what you're doing and making that work. Once you've made it work, then go make something else work. But the key thing is, once you've made one thing work, you understand what's required, you can then make it work in another area. But people are far too ready to give up and try something else. It's a bit like, think about your weight loss clients if you have any. Certainly I have had loads over the years. They may have tried a slimming club for so many weeks and then give up. They may have tried a boot camp for so many weeks and give up. They may have tried a particular online thing for so many weeks and give up. But the common denominator is then always giving up and not seeing it through, because all those things that they had tried, if they stuck with them long enough, guess what? The vast majority of them would be successful. So let's just tiptoe onto the thrust of what this training's about then, and how we can use the magnifying glass to help you become more efficient, more proficient, and get better results with your marketing. Let's take that small, crappy little magnifying glass and hold it still, rather than waving it around like we do with these magnifying glasses and getting no power from the sun. Let's take this crappy little magnifying glass, let's harness the power of the sun, and boof, you get flames. And that's what happens. This does not need to be an expensive magnifying glass. So in other words, that magnifying glass could be leaflets, it could be word of mouth, it could be Facebook advertising, it could be YouTube advertising, it doesn't really matter. The point is, you hold it firm for long enough, you harness the power of the sun, and by the way, the sun is representative of your understanding, greater understanding of the thing that you are involved in terms of marketing. So if you're doing leaflets, you become better at leaflets, you become a shining light when it comes to leaflets. If it's Facebook advertising, you stick with Facebook advertising, you become a shining light with that. If it's YouTube, the same again. So it's not about the expensiveness of the magnifying glass, it's about holding it firm, securely, long enough so that you catch the flames, and these flames obviously are representative of you getting clients. So hopefully you found that training of some use to you. If you have any questions at all, then please do go ahead and reach out to me, let me know. Feel free to give it the old which would be nice. It helps with the optimization of videos and helps me to know what's working, what people like, and encourages me to create more videos that are not too dissimilar to this one, on topics that I think are topics which we need to know, learn and understand about if we are going to be successful as personal trainers. If you want to reach out to me personally, then feel free to do so. Again, I help people who are looking to make that transition. Typically people who are 40 plus is where I tend to be the strongest. 40 plus looking to make a career change into personal training, or you're newly qualified and you're not quite sure what direction to go in, or maybe you've been in the business for a little while and you find that your income's stuck below £2,000 and you want to maybe get up to maybe 4, 5, 6k a month in the weight loss space, then definitely reach out to me. Let's have a conversation. Until my next training, take very good care and bye for now.